Every industry has its moments of reinvention, and few embody this better than the world of mobility. At the heart of this shift lies not just machines, but the people who design, drive, and define that wave of change. And one such person is Jyotsna Malhotra, who's the General Manager of HR at TVS Motors. She brings a unique blend of military precision and strategic leadership to her role, and we'll be hearing more about her in today's episode of Leaders in Focus. Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Leaders in Focus. With me is TVS Motors' Jyotsna Malhotra. Jyotsna, thanks for being here with us.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting.
So Jyotsna, you've had a fascinating career arc in that you had a stint in the armed forces and then you pivoted into corporate HR. What sort of leadership lessons did you glean from these experiences and how did it shape your approach to people management, the entire strategy behind that?
I think what I learned in my early years with Army has actually helped to be where I am today, and especially the HR strategies which I'm part of right now. So I think most important of that is resilience, which I learned pretty straightforward the moment I joined the academy, Officers Training Academy in Chennai. From there on, then moving on to field operation roles where I learned that you have to be agile. You cannot be stuck on and you cannot be looking for opportunities to come to you or to maneuver your teams. Teams remain to be your focus. People remain to be your focus. And I think that has allowed me to learn from there and apply them to today's HR strategies for the corporate world. And definitely being agile and being continuous learning is something that has really been a long, will constantly be supporting me on that.
So you spoke of resilience, and that's a very interesting point because I'm sure all of the diverse experiences that you've had, particularly on ground, be it in the armed forces or otherwise, have helped you learn a lot about building a resilient, future-ready people pool. Talk to us a bit about the lessons that you've learned on resilience from all of your experiences.
So when you talk about resilience and future-ready workforces, it's majorly, in today's world, it's majorly around be ready to tackle any kind of challenges at any point of time, and which requires you to learn, relearn, upskill, reskill, which is a continuous journey. And I think in today's world, it makes much more relevant, keeping in mind the disruptive environment, disruptive ecosystem we are in today.
So in your current role, you've championed a lot of new initiatives, particularly around DEI. Could you talk to us a bit more about that, the philosophy underlying it, and what you're looking to achieve from these initiatives?
Yeah. So in the year 2021, we came up with the organization TVS Motor came up with the new vision and mission for the organization, which majorly focused on becoming a global organization, which is more aligned to mobility solutions rather than just being specific to a category or a specific segment. And from that vision and mission, we derived HR derivatives in terms of how the vision for HR should be looking at talent, how they should be looking at creating an ecosystem where talent can thrive, where we can, possibly look at talent from the lens of diverse and inclusive ecosystem. So this allowed us to look at the overall full roadmap on the DEI space, and also the word that you mentioned is called incluvers.
I knew I messed it up very slightly.
Yeah, so if you look at the word itself, it talks about inclusion is going to be the forefront, because diversity dynamics may change tomorrow. Today we are focusing on women and persons with disability, but moving forward, we may focus on something else. So it's quite dynamic at the moment, and that's where Incluver stands with key focus on inclusion than anything else. So if you look at the policies, each and every policy and process inside of the ecosystem for the employees is focusing on inclusion, not specific to any specific segment, but for everyone to come together and be a talent, bring their best value based on the talent that they have, and thrive.
So if you were to be, addressing a room and talking about maybe some of the key traits that leaders have to demonstrate today to be successful, what would those be beyond? You've talked about resilience, you've talked about inclusivity. Anything else you'd touch upon?
I think for the leaders of today to be willing to let their teams grow, have to be open to a lot of risk taking. right? Because the way the world is changing today and the speed at which the world is changing today, openness to let your teams experiment, openness to let your teams explore new ways of doing the same things is going to be extremely vital.
So true, so true. You need to constantly be learning new things to prepare for the unknowns of tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Jyotsna, as we're looking to round this off, I'd like to ask you if there's any particular piece of advice that's really stuck with you, that was given to you by maybe a senior or a mentor, that's really helped you, that would help our viewers back home as well through their personal, through their professional lives.
Yeah, absolutely. I think many people gave me advice, but something that has stuck forever with me is you always have to align business and people. You can be HR professional, but you cannot be an HR professional in isolation. So the day I started aligning business requirements and people requirements, that's where it proved to be a most vital strategy, which is driving to the success of the people. They grow inside of the organization, whereas organizations grow at large.
So, Jyotsna, let me ask you something slightly off the beaten track. If you were to have a chance to have a dinner with 2 or 3 historical figures from down the years, could be dead, could be alive, Indian, not Indian, as the case may be, who would they be and why would you be having that kind of a meal with them?
I think one of them would be Lee Kuan Yew, who's the leader from Singapore, who pulled the country out of the marshes and made it one of the
very inspirational figure.
Very inspirational figure. And since I've lived in Singapore for some time, and it gave me a good insight of how he drove the whole country into a single sync to drive it forward. Definitely it would be one would be him.
And you spoke earlier, this bit about how you have to get the whole business side, so to speak, and the whole person side of the piece to come together to understand. And that also, you're referring to this premier, is also a sign of that, because he understood that when Singapore was in the marshes, you had to just align that whole growth agenda with the need to grow the nation. And he married all of those together.
So I think what he identified was that yes, there were challenges. Yes, it was deep in marshes, but he identified the opportunities. He identified that the location possibly was the best opportunity they had, and he capitalized.
And you can truthfully say that today they're probably the gateway of Asia.
Yes, gateway to Asia. Absolutely.
So true to say that. Jyotsna, it's been lovely chatting with you. Thank you for being here with us on this episode, Leaders in Focus. Look forward to many more.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
In times of transformation, it is of course vital to have a vision. But it's people who ultimately bring that vision to life. And it's leaders such as Jyotsna Malhotra who help people unlock the full extent of their potential. Through her understanding of performance and people, she's helping set new benchmarks of excellence for the industry. Jyotsna Malhotra's journey reminds us that resilience, discipline, and foresight are as crucial in business as on the field. As TVS Motors charts its future, her leadership shows how HR can be a true driver of growth and culture.